early 20s and the mid 20s, going down to late 20s, are usually a time in a girl's child's life when everybody around her is trying to groom her properly to be the perfect wife or mother. Nobody is talking about her career or how she's going to fit into the society or take up any form of leadership. So, what inspired you to take the kind of career path that you took that early?
I kind of got into what I was doing by mistake. I had an opportunity to work for then President Obama while I was in university, but then I needed to have community service on my resume. And coming from Nigeria, I didn't understand what community service meant. To me, I even felt, what has community done for me that I want to do for community? So somebody told me about something that my school was doing where you use your summer, winter, or spring break and go and give back. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, you know what, let's try. So me and my friends, we applied. Our goal was to go to Haiti or one of these Caribbean countries and go for a holiday. But then I got put into a Native American reservation in South Dakota. Now, if you know anything about South Dakota, you know that Black people are not there. It's cold, it's close to Canada, and it's Native Americans. But that trip changed my life because there and then I kind of understood the essence of neighborly love, the same things that relate to my faith. Obviously, I was still, a baby in Christ. I wasn't really, in depth in faith as a Christian, but it was just more like you got to see the practice of actually being someone who loves their neighbor more than themselves or loves their neighbor as themselves. And I saw how that 1 week we changed lives, we impacted lives. Working with local community children, building hospitals, insulating cabins, just working with people from different walks of life that were Asian, white, Black. And I came back to school and I was like, I want to study something that has to do with helping people. And my advice laughed and she said, well, there's nothing like that, but one thing that you can actually even do is maybe find a degree or create your degree. So I had to create my own major in university that was called Global Development and Diplomacy, which focused more on community service and helping people. So that's how I actually even got started. That's how I kind of rallied into the community space. And then, I live a life that's focused on helping communities, helping people, and just basically finding means to an end on different social issues. So I think it's passion. It's opening your ears, your early 20s, you're looking for direction, and it's just experiencing. Experiential learning will help you see your goals, will help you see your hobbies, will help you understand who you are, because you get to meet yourself. And that's why I always encourage young women to travel, to do new hobbies, to even volunteer, because you get to know who you are as a person. And for me, I got to understand that I like to help. I like tackling social issues. I want to reduce poverty. I want to encourage inclusion of women. I want to promote equal education. I want to reduce inequalities. So if I didn't go on that trip, I would have probably just been one of those people that coasted through university. I was a history major. I like to read, and I know that I can memorize things. So that was what I was just hiding behind. But once I did that and I put myself out there, which is also risks, and just doing it afraid, because women in Nigeria especially don't do it afraid so much, but just do it afraid. I love what Doc said about her still taking those opportunities to travel, even though she had kids. It's beautiful. It's good to hear women that have been there, and for me it's encouraging, because I'm like, okay, you know what? Now what I'm taking away is my spouse. I'm trying to settle on. It has to be a friend. It has to be someone who loves what I do. Has to be someone who understands the SDGs or the social space. So when I tell him, oh, I want to go and do community work in Bono, or they're calling me to Rwanda, he won't say, hey, are you Ajala the Traveler? He will say something like, oh, that's nice. Okay, how do we plan it? Who's going to come and take care of the kid? How should we do it? And then when he wants to travel, I will also go into that. So I really like that she pointed that out, especially now being in civil sector, because I'm interested in the public sector. And one thing that women must understand is that they must take risks and put themselves out there. So, it's more like the 20s are for building, they're for normalizing, they're for creating, they're for establishing. And for me, I'm trying to establish a platform where, that can be solid, a foundation for me. That's why in 30s, I actually even saw higher. I'm interested in global work. I'm interested in Nigerians being ambassadors through positive change. And because I always say people are the best exports out of the country. See how we do so well in America. See how we do so well in the UK. Can we have homegrown leaders that still live in Nigeria but go out and come back? Ugozi Okonjo-Iweala is an amazing example. I always reference her. Winning African of the Year, in Forbes, shows you that excellence, integrity, ethics, and good work. Doing the work, that's it. Just do the work and stick to it and enjoy the process. Something that even I'm so glad in my 20s has taught me. So I'm really looking forward to just leveraging more towards this end of my 20s and entering my 30s really with so much passion and zeal to even do more and be more impactful, as a woman contributing to a nation.
Wow, what a beautiful and inspiring backstory. So encouraging. So it was a divine setup. Oh, thank you. And Doc, so you can see that your experiences are already reflected in somebody's life. I want to ask you now, there's this concept that people are beginning to consciously talk about, the idea of women supporting women. In some quarters, there's this school of thought that women are not supportive of one another. I want you to expand on this.
When we were talking about barriers to women being in leadership, again, I put this caveat there to say, I'm speaking generally. Some of the barriers to women getting into these positions of leadership are structural, where it's believed that certain roles or certain places are meant for men and some for women. So meaning some have been whether feminized or masculinized, or to be the CEO of a bank, then you have to be a man or you have to be a woman, just using that as an example. But I mean, we're beginning to see it's beginning to blur a bit where now we have women on the board or in the banks, and I mean, from even different career, we even have a pharmacist for one of the banks, so some of these barriers, again, the mindset of the women, I had started to talk about that because it's almost like when women get to a certain place, they just play too out. They are no longer aggressive or assertive about moving forward. They're like, okay, it's fine. I earn a big salary. It's okay. I can just stay here. And, and then again, there's a lack of boldness. They don't have that audacity. Jennifer mentioned a bit about that. I also think so. A lot of women are not as bold as they should be, or bold again to ask for certain positions. They seem to just sit back and relax if they have achieved a certain position instead of aiming to go higher and higher, aiming for higher things. And there are many reasons for this. Again, culture comes into it because people would say, oh, she's too ambitious, or she likes money, or if, even speaking about what we just talked about, the husband, God forbid the person has a husband who's not supportive, and he says, you know what, yes, you've been doing some, but it's okay, you can stop here, that kind of thing. So changing the mindsets, women will need to change the mindsets. They need to be bolder. And then coming to what you're saying, how women can help other women. We find this more with men, but it's beginning to change for the women. But we need more to form a critical mass. I mean, I can mention some Udo Konjo. I know she has all kinds of programs where, to empower women, to inspire women. And then we have Ibuku Awoshika. She does a lot in this regard. So if we have more and more people, and if we have more and more people to act as mentors and as sponsors, mentors as different from sponsors. So mentors is really to mentor you, how to help you in this current position. Why sponsors will be somebody maybe in the same industry who can speak for you at those crucial points, because everybody needs people who will speak for them, people who would speak for them, people who would, as it's where present them to say, I think this person can do this. I think we should allow this person to take such and such a position. So it's very important. It's even in any workspace where they're choosing people to be in a committee or in a group which is elitist. You need someone to speak for you because you may not be there where they are considering people to join that position. more often than not, men speak for themselves. What I mean is men speak for other men. And, just to move along into those positions, because of sometimes pettiness and a bit of jealousy and envy here and there with women, that wasn't really the case, but it's beginning to change now. So we need more mentors, we need more people to teach, and we need more sponsors. A lot of times, women trade the role, they think it is one or the other, which is why the question of balance keeps coming up. Breadwinner or caregiver. I'm one of those who say, look, you can do both. You can actually do both. And there's a way to do it. Maybe that is another topic for another day. You can do both. It's all about balance. And people say, can you balance it? Well, it may not actually balance, but it's not a negative and it's not going to take away from anything. So in order to bring women into these leadership roles and positions, we need other women to speak for them. We need programs that pushes this agenda. We need sponsors. Sponsors are people who would help you. We need mentors, and we need people just to teach the women about the mental attitude and the body language to carry to get to do these things.
Thank you very much. It's actually nice that you mentioned the idea that it's very important for older women to begin to mentor younger women, and women that have gone high in a certain industry to begin to sponsor younger women and take them through the course of leadership. And also for the society to begin to put in place all the necessary policies that will allow and encourage the woman to begin to rise. We can't go without talking about women and politics. So Jennifer, my first question on this is to you. As a community organizer, how do you think your kind of knowledge and expertise can be applied in bringing women together and encouraging them into position of political leadership?
One of the things that as a community organizer I'm privileged to have is you have access to women from different walks of life, women from grassroots, and you get to understand the dynamics of the citizenry, basically the dynamics of grassroots, of the average woman. And you get to see the leadership aspects that different people carry. You get to see their mindsets. You get to see what they can bring to the table. And you can engage them and encourage them, show them at their own level what the benefits of being part of politics will be. And one of the issues we have is that we have such a divide between the upper class, the middle class, and the lower class, right? During the NSAS movement, somebody brought out a video about Youth 1 and Youth 2. Even between Youth 1 and Youth 2, you have such a huge difference and a disparity. And you have women between Youth 1 and Youth 2. So I'll paint a picture for you. I went for a big political training for women done by NDI and the US government. A majority of the girls in the room were girls from Isaleko.
Wow.
Not girls from like girls that were community girls, rallying people. And you realize that they have such a great and a stamina for conversation, for being there, for doing the work. And then as a community organizer, I understand that these people are my allies. And what I should do is, instead of separating myself further, I should encourage them and show them that women who come from diaspora, because I'm diaspora backgrounds or more different backgrounds, also want to come together with them to challenge or rather champion the same goal. You need to show people that you're in the same goal. So a lot of people are working in politics based on, oh, I'm a community woman, let me support my local government chairman as a man because that's my party. There's no woman who is trying to engage them and say, you know what, we're women, let's do the woman thing first. Let's play the woman card first. Let's elevate you as a grassroots man to go forward. Have you ever seen in Nigeria, compared to like America, where women will rally around a local government chairwoman, like someone that they want to put as a chairwoman, somebody that actually works. So for example, if you use Lagos Island, someone that actually works in one of those markets, and she has such a strong leadership. She doesn't necessarily need to be the Iyaloja, but she's a woman who people listen to. That kind of woman should be a leader. That kind of woman should be empowered by her fellow educated women who have greater opportunities, women who have probably gotten greater foresight on leadership or experience working in a board, or even coming from diaspora or living abroad or something, just coming together. So as a community organizer, the goal and the trick, I would say the good godly trick, is getting women to see their worth, knowing that they are beyond their demographic, they are greater than their boxes that society have built for them. They are not defined by their riches. They are not defined by their status or their class. They're defined by what they carry, their integrity, their character. And for me, it's more of us coming together to elevate the low-income woman, the common woman, the woman who sits in a jegole and is, trying to take her kids to school, the woman who struggles daily, to even, get to work despite the whole traffic that you see in Lagos. Just an average woman. When you get the average woman, the average girl, the average and grandmother in the conversation, you now start adding value and taste and substance to the Nigerian story. And that's getting everybody involved in leadership. When you encourage them, they would even see their own worth. They will see their own, will I say, passion, their own strength, and you encourage them to actually be part of the playing field. Because you're talking about equality, you're talking about inclusion, but even women themselves don't encourage women based on class systems. So you're staying in Katampe or Guzape, I want you to come down and go and find women in Ekiti. Go and find the women in Bayelsa. Encourage them, empower them. You hear stories of how communities gather and there's one woman. There's always that one woman who people listen to. She can be like, the advisor. She's the mama, or at least the woman who people see as an integrity woman. That's the kind of woman you want in leadership. It's not about your degree or what you studied or whose network you're part of or who you can, whose party ticket you can buy. Let's start getting party tickets as women for women who we know have integrity and class, but not necessarily have the finances. Now that's what you talk about: community organization, inclusion, and actually getting the face of real politics, from women that have different stories. Nigeria is rich with character. Nigeria is rich with women that have value and different kinds of experience. And I would love to see a competitive playing field where you see grassroots women at the forefront of politics, not just local politics or state politics. I mean Senate, I mean House of Reps, I mean, Vice P and presidents. We need to start showing the world that Nigeria is an inclusive country, a country that, despite all the arrows and targets and mishaps that have been thrown at them, Nigeria always knows how to rise up. Look at NSAS. Look at where we are now. Would you ever believe that after that kind of protest, Nigeria will try and heal as much as it can? Just shows you the growth and the love that Nigerians have that they don't necessarily show. But imagine carrying this love and this concern for your average neighbor. Just loving your neighbor as yourself. Nigerian politics will take a different shape, and you see more of a grassroots equal playing field.
Jennifer, you are making me very happy. I know if I allow you, you'll keep going on and on and on, because there's still so much in you want to voice out. That's why you must come back. Doc, my final question has to be for you. I know politics is not your space, but I also know you to be very passionate about everything that has to do with women. So I want to ask, from your observation, what do you think about the level of women's involvement in political leadership, and what can be done to bridge whatever gap there is?
Well, so I think it still builds to what Jennifer said, which is we need to encourage every woman as much as possible. It may be along party lines. It may be just us, it's just the women coming together, identifying a particular woman and supporting her. But it goes back to what I said, because you see, in all of this, you can organize as much as you want. You can have these strong leadership qualities or strong alliances. You have the grassroots, you have people and all that. But if we have laws, if we have policies in place that say, okay, we need to have this number of women on this seat or this number of women to occupy such roles, that will go a long way to help. So after we have organized, the woman will be brought out, and the women will need to organize themselves and to agree and, not be distracted, because more often than not, at the end of the day, it looks like something happens and there's a disintegration. And when the woman gets there, she doesn't get the number of votes she was supposed to get. She doesn't get the support that she was supposed to get, so she can clinch the ticket. This is very important. And then I think there might be some changes required in the way we do politics right now. Recently, just before this this particular voting we had last year, I think we were traveling along some routes, and I mean, it was like 1 a.m. and I saw the some party secretariats had lights, and it looks like, I mean, cars parked. And I asked, oh, what is this? They said, oh, don't you know that those meetings are held at so and so at this time of the night? I said, oh, this also speaks to why a lot of women, I mean, will not necessarily participate, because if you are married to somebody who one doesn't understand those things, even if you understand, I mean, not many men will want their wives to be out at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. Attending political meetings, so all of this, so there's a lot that still needs to be done, a lot needs to change, but really and truly what we need the support of the men. We need the men to support us and support us to the end, not just lip service, but really putting their money where their mouth is. If they say they're going to provide support, it must be total support to really get the woman to get the seats, because when we get women to get those seats, things will change. And the reason we want women in leadership is there's something new that they're going to bring. Women are wired differently. There's a nurturing spirit, there's tenderness, there's care, just building team, accountability. There's a lot that can be brought to the table when you put a woman, whether it's in politics, whether in any leadership role. There's a lot that can be, there's a lot that will benefit. So it's important that the men help us. It's important that we have policy that will help women to get to hold these political positions, so we can see the benefits that comes from it.
Thank you very much. I'm so sad I had to cut you off, but we need to go. Talking with you both has been so energizing. Jennifer brought in the fire of youth, and you, Doc, brought in your depth of experience. Thank you for coming to May's World.
Thank you very much.
We have to do this again. We must do this again.
We will.
Thank you. And at this point, I do wish you a very beautiful day. Bye. Wow, dolls, this was some energizing conversation.
Honestly.
I could hardly sit still listening to the two of them.
You know what? Initially, I was feeling cold, like, yes. But honestly, I can't get over what I just experienced. The passion, the way they were both speaking. I like the ideologies that they actually brought to the table. And then imagine Jennifer at 28. Yes. Everything she has done and she still wants to achieve. That was just amazing. Now, I've been able to understand that, come on, leadership is not just for men.
Yeah.
Even women, you can actually, okay, I don't want to bring in gender and equality and all that, but you can actually sit on the same table because we are intelligent equally, and we actually have the means to do it. We have the power, we have the passion, we have what it takes to actually be a leader. So yes, I am a leader. I am a leader.
Nice take. So from all we've heard today, it's very evident that the world is ready for your leadership, woman, if you are. Even if they are not, it's time to stand up and take your rightful position. Well, that's our show today, and we are sure that we got your attention. Keep a date with us next week, same time, same station. There is more where this came from. Join the conversation on our social media platforms. Our handles are being displayed right now on your screen. You can drop your feedbacks, your questions. We also encourage you to join our Facebook community groups, where we will continue to have these conversations with like-minded people. Until I come your way again, remember, everything and anything is possible. This is May, signing out.